My fusion system, fusing 1,000 chickens at the start. Chapter 501, An Impromptu God. The following day, Watson yawned as he walked out of the Sword Saint's courtyard. He was surrounded by a group of people as soon as he stepped onto the street. Young Master Watson, please head to the Dragon Knight training ground to participate in the training. Many students have already arrived. The only thing left is to start the training. The leader was a Dragon Knight clad in heavy armor. Dragon Knights usually looked valiant, giving off an aura that made people afraid to approach them. Watson recognized quite a few of those Dragon Knights, including Casey, Charlotte, and Lily. Christina was also with them. She smiled and said, "Watson, did you wake up late?" A group of priests stood behind the Dragon Knights. There was even a pope and a dozen bishops. They were singing praises to Watson. A beautiful day begins when we meet our great and honorable master. The light of our master is more dazzling than the sun and moon in the sky. May our master grant us courage, wisdom, and health every day. Praise our master. Hundreds of priests exuding the light of faith prayed to Watson. They appeared very pious. The Pope even came to Watson's side and bowed respectfully. "Your Holiness, if you're not doing anything special later, can you go to our church and bless our believers?" Watson has become the leader of the Dragon Knights. He was appointed by His Majesty. If you want him, wait until we finish our training. As the Holy Dragon Kingdom's most powerful army, we shoulder the mission of protecting the kingdom. If you want to worship the gods to satisfy your inner desire, then wait a little. Nothing is more important than the kingdom's security. A few Dragon Knights mocked the Pope. "You're immortal. How would you understand young Master Watson's power? Those who don't understand his power are not qualified to train with him." The Pope had a disdainful look on his face. Then, he opened his hands toward Watson, and a powerful aura like a tidal wave spread from his body. That aura surpassed a diamond tier elite, perhaps even approaching the starlight tier. Many believers stretched their hands outward and showed their devotion to Watson by embracing the sun. The aura spread from their bodies like an ocean, connecting them. The terrifying aura caused the sky to glow with golden light. The faint singing of gods could be heard, and soft golden feathers floated from the sky. The weakest priests were at platinum tier. Even the powerful dragons became uneasy. As long as you believe in young Master Watson, you can obtain power far beyond your level, even if you don't cultivate. That power is even stronger than the Dragon Knights. Protect the kingdom? Don't be ridiculous. We don't need you to protect us. A priest mocked the Dragon Knights. The Dragon Knights were furious. "What did you say? No matter what power you obtained from Watson, you don't have the right to be so proud. We are different from you. Dragon Knight's power is derived from our hard work in cultivation. It is not something that a low-tier clergy like you would know. We will show you our power." Some Dragon Knights could not take it anymore, so they released their dragon form and merged with the dragons around them. The Dragon Knights, who had transformed into dragonmen, had an aura that made them feel like they were on fire. They did not want to give in to the members of the Holy See. They took up half of the street each. The atmosphere was tense, and both sides were about to fight. A few conflicting voices came from the street at that moment. "Young Master Watson, we are His Majesty's personal guards. His Majesty has invited you to the royal palace to participate in the coronation ceremony of the kingdom's heir. We are from the Royal Academy. The teachers are all waiting for you, Watson. However, the principal said there would be no classes if you were not there. Everyone will have to wait. Young Master Watson, the Abeder family is also extending an invitation to you. They say that the blessings of the gods and demons potions are selling like hot cakes. They are about to run out. They hope that you can give them more raw materials. The Ptolemy family also wants us to invite young Master Watson." It was still so early, but the outside of the Sword Saint's courtyard was livelier than the market. People from different forces came to Watson one after another, hoping that he would meet their respective lords. The reason that happened was that Watson had led Nightingale to the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters so that Nightingale could get to know their higher UPS. After she got to know Levin, who was in charge of intelligence, Nightingale immediately used the intelligence network to spread what Watson had done. Among them were Queen Avril and the former Queen Isabella, who abdicated because she tried to kill Watson. Her children were made commoners while Watson inherited the throne. From the kingdom's strongest genius to the kingdom's heir, that change was too fast for many of the noblemen in the capital to react. Then, they hurriedly sent people to Watson's residence, wanting to send gifts to win over him. Many of them were initially subordinates of the first and second princes, but they had to realign themselves to survive. There was only one person they could rely on. The noblemen were so anxious because of Antonio and Reed. After they visited the Severed Fingers Gang, Antonio and Reed had fought for the fusion thread of the dual god. They also asked for new weapons. Watson had no choice but to go to the palace to retrieve the God King's throne of commandment that he had given to King Landar III. He could give it to Reed so that Antonio could take the fusion thread of the dual god. The two masters would not throw tantrums then. The God King's throne of commandment was a divine artifact at the peak of Starlight tier. In terms of effect, it was not weaker than the fusion thread of the dual god. In fact, it was even more powerful. Watson could still think of King Landar III's gloomy face and murderous eyes when he was about to take the throne the previous day. It was like he could kill people with his eyes. The people in the capital knew that Watson was their future king, an existence that required absolute respect. The people from the Holy See believed that Watson was a living god. After Avril was resurrected, they immediately went to the various churches in the royal city under Denise's introduction and began to integrate the church's faith. Initially, among the church's people, even though many people had gained a lot of benefits because of their faith in Watson, some people still firmly believed in the seven gods and did not want to change. Those people had become Wilson's devout believers in just one day. The power of faith in Watson's body had increased several times, which almost made him laugh out loud in his dreams. As the faith grew stronger, the rumor that Avril was an evil person as the saintess of the Demonist Church was dispelled. Isabella's testimony also helped to change the residents' impression of Avril. Isabella was the previous queen. Why would someone with her status lie? Even if they did not believe Isabella, they had to believe in Watson. Watson was the future king with a godly status. If Avril were an evil person, why would Watson let such a person help manage the church? The residents were saying that Avril was not evil, some even began to think that Avril was an angel responsible for preaching on behalf of a god, a symbol of light. In just one day, the royal city had undergone earth-shaking changes, and those changes were spreading to other cities around the royal city as well. Chapter 502, Augustus changes. Everyone, don't fight. Fighting hurts our unity. Go back and have a good talk with your masters. Tell them that I've accepted their invitations and that I'll be there. Watson said that to all the people who had invited him. A ray of light appeared on his body and instantly split into many clones as he spoke. Those clones were all created by him. They had the same appearance and thoughts as he did, and even their strength was similar to his. After obtaining the human chess piece, he began to study the usage of the human chess piece. Could he use other humans to create himself? The answer was yes. He had experimented many times to test his idea and finally succeeded. He could create up to 10 clones with his strength, and each clone could share their thoughts with him. The only drawback was that maintaining so many bodies required a lot of energy. That ability saved him a lot of energy. Go. Watson waved his hand, and the clones nodded at him. Each of them walked to a different group. Some went to the Dragon Knights. Sebastian, the god-armed dragon, let them stay on his body before he flew into the sky. The rest of the clones went to the church's people and the other family's servants and followed them to meet various important figures. Watson yawned and walked toward the Royal Academy. He wanted to make a trip to the Royal Academy. His clones could do some things, and there were some things that he had to do personally. Along the way, Watson saw many residents in the capital. The residents bowed as they greeted him. The residents were respectful to him because he was about to become the king, and he possessed great strength. He had protected the royal city during the battle between the gods, preventing the city from being damaged by the gods. As a hero who had protected the kingdom, he deserved to be treated with respect. Watson returned their greetings. Very quickly, he arrived at the Royal Academy. Before he could enter the classroom, he was surrounded by a group of students. Those students were wandering around the various corners of the school. As soon as they saw him, they immediately rushed up, as if they were waiting for him. "It's Watson. He's here. Finally, he's here. I've been waiting a long time." After rushing in front of Watson, those students all looked at him with admiration. "Watson, I heard that you're going to be the next king. Is it true? The priests also said that we'd get some abilities from you if we believe in you. They said that our strength would improve significantly too. One of my older brothers is a priest. After believing in you, he broke through to the platinum tier. Even as a warrior elemental genius, I do not possess such strength. I have come here to ask if I can change my belief to you." Some people wanted to curry favor with Watson, while others wanted to benefit from him. It was true that they were elites from the Royal Academy, but they also wanted to obtain great strength without cultivating. If they believed in Watson, their power would increase by at least 2 tiers. That would allow them to save decades of hard work. How could it not drive them crazy? "Everyone, be quiet. Class is about to start. What are you guys doing outside and not in class right now?" Just as everyone was talking, a person who looked like a teacher suddenly walked out of the academy. He came in front of Watson with a dignified expression. After looking around, he suddenly revealed a gentle smile. "Watson, I am one of the teachers from the Warrior Department's potion-making class. Currently, the Warrior Department has a potion-making class. Everyone is waiting for you. Let's hurry up, lest we make others wait anxiously." That was the first time they had to wait for anyone to start the class. The academy had many students. If they did not attend the class, they would be expelled. The academy did not lack geniuses, so they would expel anyone who did not appreciate their talent. One could say that Watson had created a precedent for the Royal Academy. After Watson nodded, a teacher took him away. The other students looked regretful. One of them was dissatisfied. "A potion-making class? She is not the same as us. I saw the cross she was wearing. There is a crown on it. That is a new accessory issued by the church after the conversion. It represents the unification of the royal authority and divine authority on Watson. That teacher must have gone to the church. Even teachers are believers in Watson. So what if we believe in Watson and trap him? Seriously?" That young man's words quickly caused a sensation among the students, and many of them nodded in agreement. Relying on faith to obtain strength? Such strength is nothing more than charity. Those who are complacent about charity are nothing more than pitiful worms. "Get out of my way, you bunch of pitiful worms." The pride and despotic voices interrupted the crowd. Everyone turned around and saw Augustus, who had long red hair, walking past the academy gate with his hands in his pockets. Unlike before, Augustus did not wear much that day. His bare arms did not have a trace of metallic luster. He was of human flesh. "It's Augustus. I didn't expect him to come to school again." A student had a puzzled look on her face as she retreated. Suddenly, she noticed Augustus's arms. The doubt on her face turned into shock. Didn't Augustus transform into a puppet before? How did his arm become flesh and blood again? Or is that metal that looks like flesh? Has the Campbell family's modification technology become so powerful? I heard that that is not puppet modification technology, but real flesh and blood. There was a rumor that Augustus died while protecting His Majesty because of the battle between the gods. He became like that because Watson had cast a resurrection spell on him. Resurrection spell? Does such a spell really exist? Can't exist? If someone can create such a spell, it must be Watson. He's collaborating with the F.A.T.C.A.T.S family to develop a potion that can allow people to advance to platinum tier angels directly. It can also grant people eternal life. They are sold for 1,000 gold coins each, but they are already sold out from the very beginning. The noblemen can buy several of them, and those smaller noblemen would have to pool their money to buy one. It's a pity that my family is not very rich. Otherwise, I would have bought one at any cost. If I can develop a potion that can grant eternal life, then the resurrection spell would not seem to be a big deal. Compared to that potion, it's more convenient to believe in Watson, even though the upgrade is not as big as that potion. By the way, Augustus' life was even given by Watson. What right does he have to be so proud? While the students were whispering among themselves, Augustus snorted coldly and walked past the group of people toward the direction of the warrior department. If he had been in the past and heard those people talking about him like that, he would have used a fire elemental spell to turn those people into ashes. However, after being resurrected by Watson, his strength had remained in the diamond tier. An unknown life force appeared in his body, making him less irritable than before. Even if he did not want to admit it, his character had changed a lot after the life or death battle. Watson had given him that. Chapter 503, Recruitment Plan 2.0. Watson tormented me so severely, he was right to resurrect me. Do they think I'll be grateful to him? What a joke. Watson had fooled those guys. Since I'm resurrected, I must work hard this time to surpass Watson again. Augustus clenched his fists and swore in his heart. He quickened his pace and soon arrived at the classroom. As soon as he entered the classroom, he found that the teacher had already started teaching. The female teacher frowned. Augustus, it has been a long time since the class started. Please come in earlier next time. Otherwise, I won't let you attend the class. Return to your seat so that you won't affect the class. Augustus snorted coldly and did not show any reaction to those words. He went to the back row, not far away from Watson, and sat down. At that point, the teacher began to explain again. As she explained, she also took out a potion from her bosom. The potion was black and white. It looked solid, exuding an ancient luster, but it did not have the intense fragrance of an ordinary potion. I believe that some of you have heard of that potion. Its name is the Blessing of the Gods and Demons. It is a platinum tier potion developed by the F.A.T.C.A.T.S family. After taking this potion, one can advance to a platinum tier angel. However, that potion was bought by the Royal Academy at a high price. There is only one of them in the entire academy. Our topic today is that. Teacher, do you want us to create a platinum tier potion? You really think too highly of us. A student tried to ridicule the teacher, causing a burst of laughter in the class. Even though they laughed, everyone knew that the person was right. They might not even be able to make gold tier potions. Even though the Royal Academy had dabbled in all aspects to nurture all-rounded talents, the students in the academy had some understanding of potions. However, they also understood that there was an insurmountable gap in producing platinum tier potions. Of course, I know that you guys are unable to produce platinum tier potions. Even I was unable to imitate that kind of potion. Fortunately, the student who made that kind of potion, Rose Weiser Abeder, is a member of the Royal Academy. With her help, the Royal Academy used that potion to produce a silver tier imitation potion. That imitation potion doesn't use water from the spring of life, so its effect isn't as powerful as the blessings of the gods and demons. However, it can also increase one's strength and lengthen one's lifespan by about a year. That potion has been named the life-prolonging potion by the Royal Academy. That is your research project today. The teacher looked around the room. Her words made many students sigh in relief. So it's a silver tier potion. Then there shouldn't be a problem. We're in the Royal Academy. Surely, we can imitate a platinum tier potion and try to come up with a potion that is easier to make even though its effects aren't good? Are we still worthy of our status? Watson sighed in his heart. He could not help but praise Rosewiser, who was able to come up with such a potion. He was right to recruit her. He was able to use the fusion technique to create a platinum tier potion, but a genius like Rosewiser was able to break down a platinum tier potion and turn it into all sorts of potions. That was something he could not do. The teacher quickly wrote down the prescription on the blackboard and ordered the students to prepare 3 sets of potions each. He wanted them to refine it on the spot. He would calculate each student's class score according to the results. Those who failed 3 times would probably have difficulty passing the test. Is that life-prolonging potion really a silver tier potion? Why does it feel more difficult than some gold tier potions? A student looked at the medicinal ingredients in front of him that had turned into a pile of black waste due to a mistake in the process. He scratched his hair in frustration. Someone comforted him. Don't complain anymore. After all, it's made by imitating a platinum tier potion. It's normal that it's difficult to make. However, if we can master that potion, we'll have gifts for our elders in the future. Some students complained about the difficulty of making it, while others began to imagine how their elders would praise them after learning about that potion. At that moment, a muffled sound suddenly came from the last row of seats. Bang! Everyone turned around and saw Augustus' hand rolling with 3 kinds of silver-white liquid. They were all emitting the fragrance of life. At times, the silver-white liquid would change into the shape of a bird, at other times, it would change into the shape of a sturdy tree. It looked very magical. Isn't a silver tier potion too easy to refine? What's wrong with you guys? How can you be called a Royal Academy student by taking so long? Augustus said arrogantly as the silver tier potion rolled in his hand. His words made many students look unhappy. Why are you so proud? If you have the ability, compete with Watson. We're not the kingdom's 3rd genius anyway. Although they were unhappy, Augustus' speed in refining the potion made them envious. Even the teacher gave Augustus a thumbs up and praised him for his amazing talent. There were both positive and negative aspects to that. Compared to Augustus, the one who performed very poorly was a male student who was as strong as a small hill. The teacher was reprimanding him severely. Duke Piggy, who allowed you to eat in class? You did not refine the potion properly, but you used the chicken drumsticks. The taste of the potion will affect the other students. How can you refine a potion like that? The male student had a drumstick in his mouth. After hearing the teacher's words, he stuffed the potion into his mouth and said, in a muffled voice, "Teacher, this is how I refine the potion. I have the ability to transform the food in my body. Look." After eating the potion, and the drumstick, the male student opened his mouth and spat out an almost digested silver-white ball. It was similar to the potion that Augustus refined, the only difference was that the liquid contained a few strands of chicken meat. It looked a little disgusting. A few students bent down to Reg. The teacher's expression changed as well. Duke Piggy, how can you refine a potion like that? You're wasting the resources. Do you understand? Get out. Just as Duke Piggy struggled to get up and was about to leave his seat, a tender voice suddenly sounded. Wait a minute. It was Watson. He looked at the thing in front of Duke Piggy with a burning gaze and said, "If I'm not wrong, that potion isn't made from the potion you swallowed just now. Instead, it's made from chicken drumsticks. Am I right?" "That's right." Duke Piggy touched his hair with his greasy hand. When he spoke, the fat on his face trembled. He looked puzzled as if he did not understand why Watson suddenly approached him. "Watson, have you finished your potion? It doesn't matter if you haven't. As one of the founders of the Blessings of the Gods and Demons potion, I know your strength. I will give you full marks." The potion master immediately put on a gentle face. That attitude made many students curl their lips, but no one complained. It was normal for Watson to receive such preferential treatment. Most of them would be jealous of Watson's talent. The only person dissatisfied with that was Augustus. "Watson, you haven't finished your potion, yet you still have the time to care about other people. You really have a big heart." Watson turned around and waved his hand. "Fusion system, activate." The 3 ingredients in front of him immediately fused, turning into a black and white bead. "That is the blessings of the gods and demons that I created. Without the water from the spring of life, it can only allow a person to advance to platinum tier, but it cannot grant them eternal life. It can only increase a person's lifespan by a few hundred years. Advancing to platinum tier would increase one's lifespan by a few hundred years." Watson was too brilliant. "Teacher, this potion is my completed work. I only have one request. Please don't make things difficult for me, and everyone will be fine." Watson handed the potion to the teacher. The potion teacher received the potion like a pilgrim receiving a gift from the gods. He said, "Watson, don't worry. I won't make things difficult for him. For your sake, Duke Piggy will always get full marks in my class." "Thank you, teacher. Since the class is over, I won't disturb you and the other students here." Watson bowed and turned to look at Duke Piggy. "Hello, I wonder if you are interested in talking with me." His purpose for going to the Royal Academy was not to attend classes. With his strength, it was very difficult for him to learn anything new or useful here. He was there to scout for talents. It was the same recruitment plan he had used for Rosewiser but version 2.0. Chapter 504, 100 times more salary. "Watson, what did you want to talk to me about?" Duke Piggy followed Watson out of the classroom, panting heavily. They did not go anywhere far, but his forehead was sweating as if he had run for several kilometers. That scene stirred Watson's interest. It seemed like Duke Piggy's physical fitness had become very poor due to his obesity. Even a person like Casey had to use a potion to acquire gold tier strength to become a student at the Royal Academy, regardless of whether he had help or not. It was incomprehensible how Duke Piggy had gotten into the school with such a poor body. As if sensing Watson's question, Duke Piggy said, "Watson, thank you for helping me out just now. I will remember that. I will definitely return that favor to you. I can remember what I ate. I can also change other food to look like what I've eaten. The potion that I spat out just now was made from chicken drumsticks. It's just that the transformation is not very complete, and there's still chicken meat left inside. Similarly, those potions can be transformed internally to allow me to increase my strength in a short period." Duke Piggy's ability was very simple to describe. It was to change the shape of the food. He could turn medicinal ingredients into chicken drumsticks, and he could also turn chicken drumsticks into bread. Even if Duke Piggy had not consumed any potion, as long as he swallowed a large number of drumsticks before participating in the battle and turned the drumsticks into a potion that could temporarily increase one's strength, it would be enough. After consuming the potions, even if Duke Piggy's strength was low, he could still have gold tier strength for a short period. That ability is really amazing. To change the shape of matter, that ability is something that even I can't do. Watson sighed. With such a powerful ability, it would be too much of a waste to let you be an ordinary student at the academy. I have an excellent idea for your ability. I am willing to give you 1 million gold coins a month as long as you help me exchange some specific materials. I wonder if you are willing to do that. Duke Piggy's ability to transform different substances was remarkable. He could easily get rare materials that Watson could only get from the Book of Wisdom or the Wish for the World Ring. Furthermore, he was also very interested in Duke Piggy's ability to transform substances. At that moment, he had gained the ability to accelerate molecules with the human chess piece, which made him understand that everything in the world resulted from the interaction of energy factors. The world as a whole, be it void or living beings, was filled with various energy factors. Different energy factors combined to form the rules of the world. The human race possessed the molecular acceleration ability, whereas the angel race possessed the molecular deceleration ability. What Watson saw in Duke Piggy was not inferior to those two powers. Watson wanted to call it molecular change. Whether it was acceleration or deceleration, the adjustment was in the movement of the energy factors, but Duke Piggy could make the molecules jump from one form to another. Even though Duke Piggy's ability was not very eye-catching because of his strength, Watson was sure that if he helped Duke Piggy increase his power, the man would have a stunning performance. Watson, you're really a good person. Not only did you help me, but you also offered me so much reward. Unfortunately, I'm not worth it. I've always been a glutton in the eyes of others since I was young. Even my parents don't like me. You're only the second person to praise my strength and acknowledge me. Duke Piggy's face was full of gratitude as he told Watson that. Oh? Then who was the first person? Bang! Just as he asked that, the door to the mage department's classroom opened. A male teacher appeared. He grabbed a young girl with azure hair by the neck. It looked like he was about to throw her out. The teacher growled, "Dina, you rascal! I asked you to refine the potion, and you sang in class instead. Don't you know that you're disturbing the other students, especially the boys? Because of you, the class has been delayed." "Teacher, you can't blame me for that. Those boys like to see me rather than refining the potion. That's their fault, and I just wanted to use singing to accelerate the growth of my potion." The girl named Dina tidied her blue hair. She blinked innocently and stuck out her tongue at the same time. Her actions were charming, making the teacher who reprimanded her look dazed. Then, the teacher stopped looking at her and slammed the classroom door shut. "Dina, stay here and reflect on yourself. I've only been in class for a few days, and the teacher has already reprimanded me. If this goes on, I won't be the most outstanding student. That is different from my goal." As Dina was complaining, she raised her head and suddenly noticed Duke Piggy and Watson standing near her. She was stunned. "Paige, why are you here? Is that Watson?" "Paige? Duke Piggy, is that your name?" Watson's expression was a little strange. Duke Piggy nodded. "That's right, my real name is Paige. In the Holy Dragon Kingdom, it means a pig that can eat. My parents gave me that name because I was born to be a good eater. Watson, let me introduce you. That is Dina, also known as the Siren Singer. She is the first person to acknowledge my ability. Duke Piggy, it seems like Watson took the initiative to find you and acknowledge your ability. How is it? Was I right?" As Dina spoke to Duke Piggy, she looked at Watson with a burning gaze, her eyes jumping with light. Then, she came to Watson's side and stretched her hand outward generously. "Hello Watson, my name is Dina. My singing has the power to make people fall into temptation. That is a natural ability, not magic. Therefore, even if it were a powerful person, my ability can have a specific effect on them. I don't know if you still lack followers, but I can use that power to work for you. Of course, how can I refuse that offer that Miss Dina is so generous? I can always use a talent like you, Miss Dina." Watson also reached his hand outward to shake hands with Dina. He could feel the dazzling charm emanating from Dina's body. Even though he had to praise her, her tender red lips, her swaying eyes, and her voluptuous body, those characteristics aroused his desire as a man, making him subconsciously want to get close to her. However, that influence only lasted for a moment. At his level, he looked at people's nature. In addition, his soul was protected by a million levels of faith. No matter how powerful the charm was, he could remain calm. It would be a pity if a woman like Dina did not become an intelligence officer. He believed that as long as the spy was a man, he would be so mesmerized by her that he would reveal everything. "What are you planning for me, young Master Watson? And how much is my salary?" After Dina shook hands with Watson, the light in her eyes became stronger, and she even changed the way she addressed Watson. Not only did Watson praise her, but her evaluation of Watson had also improved. Watson was known as the strongest genius in the kingdom, and even Duke Piggy was calm around him. That made her admire him even more. Only she knew how powerful her charm was. Since she was a child, everyone around her, particularly men, could not help but stare at her. Even when her uncles came to her house, they would rush to her side and touch her, whether intentionally or unintentionally. That disgusted her greatly. Only Duke Piggy would not look at her in that way. That was also why she was friends with him. Watson was the second person to offer her that. "Miss Dina, your job is to collect intelligence. Later, I will introduce you to my intelligence network. As for the remuneration, I will give you 10,000 gold coins a month. If you perform well, there will be additional rewards in addition to the gold coins." 10,000 gold coins? Young Master Watson, you are generous, indeed. Duke of Pig, how much are you earning every month? Dina nodded, but she did not look excited. Instead, she turned around and asked Duke Piggy. The Duke Piggy said with some hesitation, "I haven't agreed to Watson's request, but he's giving me 1 million gold coins per month." What? 1,000,000 gold coins are equivalent to the entire wealth of some minor nobleman. And that is your monthly salary. Watson is paying you 100 times more than mine. Isn't that unfair? Dina cried out in surprise, her eyes filled with resentment as she looked at Watson. Chapter 505, Benefits. Do you think my talent is inferior to Duke Piggy's, young Master Watson? Dina inquired, her tone unmistakable. She was aware that Duke Piggy possessed the ability to transform the food he consumed. Those who did not know Duke Piggy only knew that he could turn the food he ate into his own power. They had no idea that transformation was the essence of that power. Dina understood that, but she did not believe Duke Piggy's power was much more significant than hers. It did not deserve the 100 times difference in salary. Duke Piggy could get 1 million gold coins a month, while she could only get 10,000 gold coins. That made her feel a little unbalanced. To be honest, I am right. If you do not trust my judgment, I can bring you somewhere later to verify it. That way, you will understand why I believe Duke Piggy's talent is worth 1 million gold coins. In addition, I would like to bring you to your future workplace so you'd get familiarized with it and arrange some work for you. Watson saw through Dina's thoughts and said that with a smile. The most important thing for a qualified superior was to make his subordinates believe in him. Only then could he push his subordinates to obey his orders without question. It is fine with me. Anyway, there was only one potion-making class this morning, and I was kicked out. I will have a lot of free time after this. Dina paused for a moment before shrugging her shoulders. She was also curious to see how Watson would prove it. Half an hour later, in the 8-story courtyard in the sky where the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters were located. I had no idea such a structure existed in the capital. It is truly incredible. Dina sighed as she looked up at the 8 courtyards stacked together and floating in the air above her head. Aside from the gorgeous courtyard and attic, there were also many weapons that emitted platinum-tier light, as well as the sun and moon fruits. Are they members of the underground force known as the Severed Fingers Gang? Why is it different from what I imagined? Dina was more concerned with the people carrying various goods than the things above her head. Watson informed her and Duke Piggy that they had arrived at the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters. She was taken aback when she first heard the news. She had no idea Watson was the leader of the infamous group. Greetings, young Master Watson. While Dina was watching, a few people dressed luxuriously came in front of Watson and bowed respectfully to him. Allow me to introduce you. These are my subordinates. Their names are. Watson was about to introduce the people in front of him when Dina exclaimed, Veronica, are you Miss Veronica? I had no idea you were with this gang. Dina stared at Veronica, one of the people in charge of the Severed Fingers Gang. Veronica looked surprised, and she opened her mouth slightly. Dina, why are you here? Are you here with young Master Watson? Veronica, do you know each other? Watson asked from the side. Well, young Master Watson, my job requires me to manage banks and underground casinos, so I know a lot of the noblemen. To maintain my relationship with them, I frequently visit the nobleman's home as a guest. I am a regular visitor at Count Byron's manor, where Miss Dina resides. Dina, how is your father? Dina's face flushed with embarrassment when her father was mentioned. Thank you for your concern, Miss Veronica. My father is still the same. He drinks heavily, and he also enjoys gambling. He had just sold my mother's favorite solid wood furniture for gambling funds the other day. As a result, they had a heated argument about it. It is extremely difficult to have a man who enjoys gambling. Veronica consoled her. Klein removed his top hat just as Watson introduced Duke Piggy. Mr. Page, I did not expect to see you here, he bowed to Duke Piggy. Duke Constantine, your father, is a regular customer of ours. He has an annual revenue of at least 10 million. It's really hard to have a man who likes to gamble at home. Veronica comforted him from the side. When Watson introduced Duke Piggy, Klein took off his top hat. He bowed to Duke Piggy and said, Mr. Page, I did not expect to see you here. Your father, Duke Constantine, is a big customer of our bank. The annual turnover is no less than 10 million. Mr. Klein, you must be joking. Duke Piggy stuffed the drumstick into his mouth and smiled shyly. Since you all know each other, then this is an easy matter. Watson smiled. Let me make an announcement. From now on, Dina and Duke Piggy will be my subordinates, and they will also be your colleagues. Dina's mission is to become an intelligence officer and join forces with Elvin. Please take good care of her, Elvin. Don't worry, young Master Watson. I will not disappoint you. Elvin walked forward and bowed respectfully. A girl with a single horn on her head stood beside her. Watson could tell at a glance that the girl's true form was an angelic unicorn. Dear Elvin, I've arranged for a friend of mine to come here as an intelligence officer. I wonder how she's doing. Young Master Watson is talking about Miss Nightingale, right? She is a natural, and her performance is very outstanding. She has only been here for 1 day, but the efficiency of the intelligence network I'm responsible for has increased by 30%. I've now appointed her as the assistant in charge of the intelligence network, and she helps to lead the intelligence network in the royal city, Elvin said. Watson nodded. When Nightingale was at the border, she was the most outstanding assassin, but she worked for the border count. Naturally, the border count valued talented people. Previously, Nightingale had been by his side, and he had always overshadowed her brilliance. It was time for Nightingale to shine. Then, Watson turned in the direction of Dina and Duke Piggy. Nightingale was not in the capital at that moment, so she should be monitoring the people connected to King Landar III. The most important thing was not to consider Nightingale's matter but to solve the problem between Dina and Duke Piggy. Dina, as I said just now, I will prove the value of Duke Piggy's talent to you. But before that, I have to give you a gift. Watson smiled and opened his right hand. The Book of Wisdom appeared in his hand. There was a dragon-wrapped potion, and a black and white bead was inside it. That is the Dragon Transformation Potion and the Angel Potion. The former can turn a human into a diamond-tier dragon. I can give it to Duke Piggy. The latter is a prop that can turn a human into an angel with eternal life. Dina, that is for you. After giving the 2 potions to Duke Piggy and Dina, Watson looked at them with a smile on his face. A potion that can turn a person into a platinum-tier angel. Isn't that a potion that is currently being sold in the city? I heard that the potion couldn't be bought for 10 million gold coins each. The Abeder family sells it. I didn't expect that I would be able to get it. Dina was not surprised that there was a blessings from the gods and demons potion there. Many people in the capital knew that the Aubert family had a good relationship with Watson. She was surprised that Watson was willing to give that precious potion to her. Her monthly salary was only 10,000 gold coins, and that potion worth 10 million gold coins was equivalent to a lifetime of salary. It can turn a person into a diamond-tier dragon. Is that true? Duke Piggy gulped. The silver-tier potion that his teacher had asked him to develop in the potion-making class was already very powerful. However, when compared to that potion in front of him, nothing could come close, not even the blessings from the gods and demons would come close. Chapter 506, The God-Eating Dragon. Young Master Watson, why did you give Duke Piggy the dragon transformation potion and give me the potion that turns people into angels? Is it because of his talent again? After recovering from her shock, Dina calmed down and asked with a twinkle in her eyes. Diamond-tier potions were consistently more powerful than platinum-tier potions, no matter how they looked. Watson only gave Duke Piggy the diamond-tier potion. It was clear that he was favoring him. One should not be worried about the balance of power. Even if she did not want to, she was subconsciously dissatisfied with that. That is what I want to say. To me, the higher your value is, the better the reward I will give you. Duke Piggy's talent is stronger than yours, so the things he gets are better. If you perform well in your future work, I will also give you more things, Watson explained. For him, that was only one of the reasons. There was another reason why he distributed them like that. Duke Piggy was very talented, but his physical ability was not enough to bear such a burden. That led to him eating a large amount of food every day. It was different after he became a dragon. The special physique of a dragon would not affect him if he did not eat anything for a short period. As for Dina, her abilities were her natural charm and beautiful singing voice. There was no doubt that after becoming an angel, she would be able to obtain greater bonuses in those two aspects. The dragon transformation potion and the blessing of the gods and demons could allow them to transform into a specific race. One could be upgraded to platinum tier, while the other could be upgraded to diamond tier. If they were consumed by one at the same time, the effects of the overlapping parts would be wasted. It would be useless. There was a third reason for Watson's arrangement. For the time being, he did not want to reveal that reason. After hearing Watson's explanation, Dina expressed her acceptance. She stuffed the blessing of the gods and demons into her mouth. Soon, angel wings appeared on her body, and a halo above her head. She was initially so beautiful that she did not look like a person. Her body had holiness in addition to a charming aura. Many of the Severed Fingers gang members working around her stopped what they were doing and watched her. Even the higher UPS were stunned for a few seconds. As expected of the siren singer who is known to have the most beautiful voice and face in the kingdom. I'm a woman, but even I was a little moved when I saw her. That's the blessing of the gods and demons potion. I spent so much buying one from the Aubert family, but young Master Watson had given her one. That is the difference between a genius and ordinary peasants like us. Dina was a genius at the Royal Academy. After going to the Severed Fingers gang, Watson gave her a potion worth 10 million gold coins without saying anything. No one else received such treatment. Watson's words were not only for Dina and Duke Piggy but also for all the higher UPS there. He hoped that they could compete with each other to promote development. After Dina took the potion, her azure blue eyes lit up. She opened her arms and began to sing. Her beautiful voice was like a fairy whispering in one's ear. It made people feel like a feather floating in the clouds. As she sang, the crowd looked like they were intoxicated. The Severed Fingers gang members closed their eyes. The things in their hands fell to the ground, but they did not even feel it. The only person who remained awake was Watson. Your singing is not bad. The song itself is also very good. After listening to Dina sing for a few minutes, Watson clapped his hands in appreciation. The sound of clapping reverberated throughout the courtyard, and it snapped the crowd back to their senses. I was attracted by the singing just now, and I have the strength of a diamond tier elite. Among the higher UPS of the Severed Fingers gang, Elvin clicked her tongue discreetly. A hint of disbelief appeared in her eyes. When Dina was singing, she felt her mind go blank. All that remained was the sensation of floating in the clouds. She would not be able to react in time if she was ambushed. She was the strongest of the Severed Fingers gang's higher UPS. Even at her level, she was still susceptible to deception. Dina was only at platinum tier. It was clear how terrifying her singing voice was. It is a truly terrifying singing voice. Such a skill is best suited to being an intelligence officer. After capturing the enemy, there is no need to brainwash him. If she sang a song, the other party would almost certainly confess. Even if she was not an intelligence officer, becoming a bishop in the church would benefit her. If the church had such a beautiful bishop, there would be a large number of believers who would pray fervently every day. Veronica also complimented her. "I'm sorry, young Master Watson. I wrote that song myself. I sang it because I was too happy to be promoted. I hope you don't mind." Dina stuck out her tongue, and her pink lips were moist. That playful action had ignited many men's hearts. Even though she said it was not intentional, she did it on purpose. She wanted to let Watson understand the power of her talent. "My talent allows me to control many people and even make them do what I want them to do. That ability can't be worse than Duke Piggy's talent. Young Master Watson had underestimated me. He should at least pay attention to me," Dina thought. She longed to be valued by Watson. She was not greedy for the benefits, she just enjoyed the feeling of getting noticed by others and being the center of attention. Seeing Dina's expression, Watson could roughly guess what she was thinking. He did not say anything but just shook his head and looked to his side. Duke Piggy held the dragon transformation potion in his hand. He looked hesitant and did not consume it. "Duke Piggy, why aren't you eating it?" "Young Master Watson, I haven't thought about whether I should work for you. Also, this potion is too precious. Platinum tier potions are worth 10 million gold coins. Diamond tier potions are worth at least 100 million gold coins. Why waste such a potion on a good-for-nothing like me? I can't make up for it. It doesn't matter. 100 million gold coins is nothing to me. Besides, I value your talent. Your talent is even more precious than 100 million gold coins. It's up to me to judge whether it's worth it or not you. So don't belittle yourself." Urged by Watson's encouraging eyes and words, Duke Piggy hesitated for a moment before he put the potion into his mouth. Roar! With a muffled grunt, Duke Piggy's body immediately expanded and turned into a strange dragon that stretched for 100 meters. The spherical body had a giant pig head with dragon horns on it. Even though it looked hilarious, its body exuded a powerful aura that was not inferior to the Dragon King's. Diamond Tier Dragon, God-Eating Dragon. Abilities: Material Conversion, can convert substances in the body into another type. Absolute Absorption, can digest whatever it eats and make itself stronger. External Conversion, can be used outside the body, but the conversion efficiency is lower. Absolute Devouring, can directly swallow and digest enemies. Additional abilities: Destruction Spray, spurts out things that can't be digested, causing large-scale damage. Delicious Touch, possesses the sharpest sense of taste and the ability to cook delicious meals. After Duke Piggy transformed into a dragon, the information appeared in Watson's eyes. Then, he flipped through the Book of Wisdom and took out a Blessing of the Gods and Demons potion. He threw it at Duke Piggy. "Duke Piggy, show me your ability. Transform the Blessing of the Gods and Demons potion into a dragon transformation potion." Roar! Duke Piggy's God-Eating Dragon roared in agreement. God's Blessing potion floated in front of him. The Blessing of the Gods and Demons potion was transformed into another potion in minutes. It emitted the aura of a dragon. It was the dragon transformation potion that Duke Piggy had taken. The scene of a platinum tier potion turning into a diamond tier potion in such a short time stunned everyone there. Chapter 507, Remuneration. He actually turned a platinum tier potion into a diamond tier potion. Is he for real? Klein could not help but stroke his beard and exclaim as he watched Duke Piggy transform into a dragon. Don't you find that ability very familiar? It's just like what young Master Watson usually does, Veronica said. Usually, when Watson used the fusion system, he would instantly fuse the item and make it more advanced. Duke Piggy's ability was similar to Watson's, but it was not as fast and efficient as Watson's. I didn't know about Duke Piggy's ability to convert an item into something more advanced. No wonder young Master Watson said that Duke Piggy's talent is higher than mine, and he even gave him 100 times more than my salary. Even Dina could not help but mutter to herself as she looked at the god-eating dragon floating in front of her. She had always thought that Duke Piggy could convert the things he ate into something else. That ability was powerful because as long as he kept eating, his achievements would not be lower than the average genius even if he did not work hard to cultivate. However, such talent had a limit. Duke Piggy could only transform food, he could not do anything with non-edible or poisonous items. However, with Watson's help, Duke Piggy had become a dragon. He could do an external transformation, which was different. An external transformation proved that Duke Piggy could create all kinds of high-tier potions and weapons out of thin air. Those things could be worth a lot of money if converted into gold coins if not used as weapons. It was not something Dina could do. She could only charm others. Miss Dina, I wonder if you still have any objections about me giving Duke Piggy 100 times your salary after seeing his ability. At that point, Watson turned his head and spoke to Dina with a smile. During that process, Duke Piggy had returned to his human form. After advancing to the diamond tier, Duke Piggy's appearance was somewhat different from before. First of all, even though he was still fat, one could say that he had muscles. His body looked ripped. However, he still held on to the drumstick in his hand. After becoming the god-eating dragon, he gained great strength, and the hunger that he often felt had disappeared as well. That is all thanks to Watson. Duke Piggy looked excited. He usually felt a little inferior to others, he also felt like he might not be able to meet Watson's requirements. However, his inferiority complex was replaced by confidence. Since he could create something worth tens of millions of gold coins, he did not think much about Watson's reward for him. With that thought in mind, he subconsciously picked up the dragon transformation potion in his hand. It was exactly the same as the one he had taken. Since he had taken the potion, he could recreate it. However, making such a potion required a lot of his strength, he could only make 10 in a day. Dina's expression seemed complicated. She sighed and said, "Young Master Watson, you've won. Duke Piggy's talent is indeed better than mine." "No, it is far better than mine." She was convinced of that fact. Initially, she felt like her talent was stronger compared to Duke Piggy's. She had always treated Duke Piggy as her underling. However, that had changed. She realized that her underling's talent was stronger than hers. She was a little disappointed. "I'm just proving my judgment to you, Miss Dina. My judgment will never be wrong, but Dina, you don't have to be so dejected. I also value your talent very much." Watson smiled. A person who could enchant others with their voice and beauty was the best choice for conveying a message to the people. He knew that the Holy Dragon Kingdom was undergoing many changes due to his plan. If those changes were carried out at a normal rate, he would need to wait for a few years. Watson could not wait that long. Perhaps Dina could be of help to him. "Yes, Dina, my talent is actually not as good as yours. You have always stood up to protect me when I was in trouble. Young Master Watson should have given you the dragon transformation potion. I have another dragon transformation potion if you want it." Duke Piggy spoke before picking up the dragon transformation potion in his hand. However, Dina said, "Forget it, Duke Piggy. Young Master Watson did not give me the dragon transformation potion, which means that I am not qualified to take that potion for the time being. Even if you give it to me now, I will not accept it. I'm sorry, young Master Watson. I forgot to ask if I can give that potion to Dina. Duke Piggy scratched his head foolishly. For the time being, I can't give that potion to Dina because that is my reward to you. Watson took the dragon transformation potion from Duke Piggy's hand and found that it was almost the same as what he had created. He nodded in satisfaction. Now that the Abeder family has started to sell the blessings of the gods and demons potion, there are many families who buy it. However, when those wealthy families bought most of our stock and when we get even more platinum tier elites in the kingdom, that potion would be useless. Then, we would need to come up with something even stronger. Watson narrowed his eyes. The noblemen in the Holy Dragon Kingdom had their own businesses. He needed to convert those businesses into gold coins and move them into his hands. It could weaken the wealth of the noblemen and increase their own strength, killing two birds with one stone. Duke Piggy, from now on, you have to make that dragon transformation potion every day and put the completed potion at the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters. Of course, if you make enough dragon transformation potions, I'll allow you to keep some with you. If you want to give it to others, I won't care about that. Seriously? Don't worry, young Master Watson, I'll work hard to make the potion. Duke Piggy, who had been upset that he could not give the potion to Dina, became excited again after hearing Watson's words. He patted his chest with pride. You have your mission. From tomorrow onward, after class, the two of you can come and work with the Severed Fingers Gang. Watson waved his hand and motioned for Duke Piggy and Dina to go back and inform their families to pack their things. After Duke Piggy used his transformation ability to create 10 portions of the Dragon Transformation Potion, Watson gave them their salary for that month and let them leave the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters. Then, a group of Severed Fingers Gang's higher UPS surrounded Watson. Young Master Watson, I wonder if you can give us that Dragon Transformation Potion. I'm willing to pay for it. Veronica pointed at the potions in Watson's hand, not concealing the desire in her eyes at all. Idiot, why would young Master Watson give such a precious potion away for free? Veronica, aren't you being too arrogant? I don't need such a precious potion. Klein said politely, his gaze remaining fixed on the Dragon Transformation Potion. Selling the potion was definitely not as tempting as consuming it directly, but it was still a big deal. After a moment of silence, he said, Klein, you're a bank boss, so why don't you leave that job to me? No, leave it to me. The higher UPS began to quarrel, causing Watson to have a headache. After a moment of silence, he said, stop arguing. It depends on which of you performs the best this month. That person will obtain the right to sell the potion. Chapter 508, Trouble at the Door. At Lord Byron's family manor. Dina was carrying a money bag as she wandered through the Count's manor. A few maids were cleaning the floor, but when they saw her, they all started whispering. It's Miss Dina. She's back. Miss Dina hasn't stayed at home for a long time, especially after she went to the Royal Academy. It's no wonder. After all, Miss Dina's father is an incompetent earl addicted to drinking and gambling. This morning, the Countess and the Earl had another argument. He had sold the Countess' wedding ring. He even dared to sell their wedding ring. Is there anything he wouldn't do? We would have left long ago if the Countess hadn't treated us so well. I've already decided to leave. Our salary has changed from 1 silver coin a month to 5 copper coins a month. That salary is already lower than most maids in the capital. We need to make a living. Those discussions were not loud, but Dina could hear them. Furthermore, she had just been promoted to a platinum tier angel by Watson at the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters, so her hearing was even sharper. She did not miss a single word. We have so few maids, and now even they are leaving. It seems like there won't be anyone in the house for a long time. Father, that B***** even sold mother's wedding ring. What scum! Dina quietly clenched the purse in her hand. Watson gave her the purse, and it contained 10,000 gold coins. These 10,000 gold coins are just enough to alleviate my family's predicament. I believe that with these gold coins, my mother won't have to work so hard. Slowly, she walked through the long corridor and arrived at a door covered with ivy. She pushed the door open, and just as she opened the door, she heard the sound of things smashing in the hall. She saw a drunk middle-aged man rummaging through the cabinets in an almost bare hall. He threw any worthless things he found on the ground. "Tell me, where is your jewelry? I remember that when I married you, I ordered the blacksmith to make a set of gold-tier magical jewelry." The drunken man was holding a bottle of wine in one hand, taking a sip from time to time, while his other hand was randomly rummaging through the drawer. A lady with disheveled clothes and hair down to her shoulders stood behind him. There was no makeup on her face, she looked haggard. "Byron, you've already sold my ring. Are you planning to sell my wedding dowry now? That set of jewelry is now the most valuable thing in this family. If you sell them, we might not even be able to afford to eat. Think about Dina. She has enrolled in the Royal Academy. After she graduates, she will become a soldier. At that time, you can let her support you. Dina still has 4 years before she graduates. Furthermore, we can't be sure if she can graduate or not. After all, she barely made it past the enrollment. Dina has the natural ability to charm people. Rather than asking her to be a soldier, I would rather sell her off. That way, at the very least, she can earn quite a lot of money. I know a few friends. They have already told me that they are interested in Dina and are willing to pay a large price for her." "Shut up, Byron. Are you even human? That is your daughter. Stupid woman. Do you think you can scold me? That is my daughter, not yours. Why are you so agitated?" Byron snorted coldly and gave the woman a hard slap on the face, causing the woman's cheek to swell. "I will beat you to death if you don't give me the jewelry today." Byron picked up the wine bottle in his other hand and smashed it down on the woman's face. Just as the wine bottle was about to hit the woman's face, it shattered, and blood splattered everywhere. The woman had closed her eyes in despair. At that moment, the wine bottle shattered with a muffled sound, and blood splattered everywhere. However, it was not the woman's blood. D****. Holding his bleeding arm, Byron took 2 steps backward and stared at Dina, who had suddenly appeared in front of him. His eyes were filled with anger. "Dina, when did you come back? Why didn't you tell us you're back? Why didn't you greet your father? Where are your manners? Is this what I taught you? A person who gambles, drinks, and beats his wife, what right do you have to talk about manners with me?" Dina snorted coldly. "What did you say?" Byron flew into a rage and raised his voice. However, he quickly thought of something, and his eyes turned gentle. "Dina, I was drunk just now. I didn't want to beat your mother. You came back just in time. I can't find your mother's jewelry, so I'll let you make up for it. Later, I'll take you to see a friend of mine. As long as you cooperate with me and let me get some money, I'll be able to make up for the money I lost before. You want me to cooperate with you? Keep dreaming." Dina bit her lip, and her eyes flashed with sadness. "That is what you say every time you want money. When have you ever won a bet?" Her father had not been like that in the past. He used to be a family man. However, after his business failed, he had lost so many of their family's assets. He became addicted to gambling to recover some of his capital. In the end, he had lost so much that his attitude worsened. Byron raped a sea folk woman while he was drunk, and Dina was the result of that rape. Even though her mother did not birth her, she treated her like her own daughter. Dina had always been grateful for that. She joined the Royal Academy so that she could take care of her mother in the future. "Dina, how dare you talk to me like that? Are you rebelling against me? I sent you to study at the Royal Academy. Is that all you've learned? I should go to the Royal Academy to ask and see how they educate their students, Byron growled. Then, he noticed the money bag in Dina's hand, and his expression changed. Dina, what's in your hand? It looks like a money bag. Is there money in it? Let me see. Byron grabbed Dina's arm. Dina avoided Byron, but the money bag shook and made a clear sound. That sound. It really is money. Even if it's copper coins, it's still a lot. Dina, where did you get so much money? With your ability, there is only one way to get a large amount of money in a short period, and that is to sell your body. I told you to do that, but you refused. In the end, you really did it. So cheap. Give me that money. Don't talk nonsense, I don't have any money. Dina took 2 steps backward. Her eyes were filled with grievance and embarrassment. No one would feel good after being told that by their father. As Dina tried to hide from her father, someone pushed the door open. A middle-aged man with a small mustache, shiny hair, and a shiny face walked into the room. A few burly men in armor stood behind him. The moment the fat middle-aged man appeared, his gaze fell on Dina. Byron, my old friend, didn't you say that you wanted to introduce Dina to me? I've been waiting outside for a long time, and I've prepared 100,000 gold coins for that. You're too slow. Do you need my help? Chapter 509, his name is Watson. Master Lawrence, you're here. Dina's expression darkened when she saw the man. She recognized him as someone who occasionally appeared in her family manor. He ran a casino, and he always looked at her creepily. Meanwhile, her father, Byron, had a look of ecstasy on his face as he quickly walked to the door to welcome him. I was just about to bring Dina to see you. Since you're here, I'll leave Dina to you. Oh, right. You said that as long as I introduce Dina to you, you'll give me 100,000 gold coins. So, about that. Don't worry, I'm a man of my word. The man named Lawrence gestured at the burly men behind him. One of the men immediately brought in a huge box. He opened the box and revealed the gold coins in it. It was precisely 100,000 gold coins. Byron looked happy when he saw the gold coins. The reflection of the gold coins in his hands dazzled his eyes. Dina, come here and let me take a look at you. The last time I saw you were a few months ago. I did not expect you to become so beautiful after only a few months. I heard that you've enrolled in the Royal Academy recently. That's not bad. I haven't congratulated you yet. I've prepared a small gift for you. I hope you'll like it. Lawrence clapped his hands again, and his subordinate immediately took out a gorgeous gown. This gown cost me 1,000 gold coins. I specially customized it for you. Do you like it? Dina could feel Lawrence's greedy gaze on her, making her frown uncomfortably. She felt like Lawrence's gaze was like a pair of giant hands, wanting to peel off her clothes. Byron, what are you doing? How can you sell your daughter to someone else? Dina's mother asked as she rubbed her red and swollen cheeks. Sophia, your words are too unpleasant. What do you mean by selling? How can you sell things between the noblemen? This is called a transaction. In any case, our family's current circumstances can no longer support Dina's education, and Lawrence is willing to take over that. We can get the money, and Dina can also get the funds to continue studying at the Royal Academy. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Lawrence assured me that Dina would graduate from the Royal Academy. He will also pay for all the potions, weapons, and everything else that Dina uses in the process. Lawrence, didn't you agree to that? Lawrence nodded his agreement. Enough. What do you mean we can get the money? You are the only one getting the money, father. And you'll gamble all of that way. You are giving me to someone else to fund your gambling habit. Is that what a father would do? No matter what you say, father, I will never agree to such a thing. "Mom, we will leave this house later. You can live with me." She had gone home to give her mom the salary Watson had paid her. She did not expect her father to do such a thing. She might as well take her mother away from Byron. Byron chuckled. "Dina, do you think you can still be so willful?" "Lawrence, I will leave Dina to you. I will not stop you, no matter what you do. Go and get Miss Dina. Be careful not to hurt her." Lawrence waved his hand, and a hint of disdain flashed in his eyes as he looked at Byron. He had been coveting Dina for a long time. Dina was too charming. As a nobleman, he had played with many young girls, but none were as beautiful as Dina. Previously, he had vaguely mentioned that he was interested in Dina. However, at that time, the Byron family had not gone bankrupt and had mercilessly rejected him. Then, Byron owed the casino a lot of money due to his gambling habits. "Byron does not know that the reason he has been losing in my casino is that the gambling table has a mechanism that I designed, allowing the dealer to change the dice at will. Selling his daughter for gambling is really pathetic, but I can get Dina this way," Lawrence thought. He had already started fantasizing about what would happen after he got Dina. With Dina's beauty, he would get to enjoy her in bed every night. He had given her the gown for her to wear at night. After a few months, he might share her with his friends. Lawrence was breathing heavily, and his eyes were filled with lust as a few guards behind him had already walked toward Dina. Their bodies were emitting a gold-tier aura. Even though Dina was a top gold-tier student at the Royal Academy, he did not care because she had barely passed the Royal Academy's test. He had spent a lot of money to hire the warriors behind. "Miss Dina, I hope you won't resist me. We don't want to hurt you." A few guards came in front of Dina. The leader spoke in a low voice. His eyes flickered with the desire of a man. Very few men could remain calm in front of Dina. Furthermore, their boss had already agreed to let them enjoy her when he had finished playing with her. "Stay away from me. All of you. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Dina's expression darkened. She clenched her fists tightly. It seemed like she wanted to resist. Unfortunately, her appearance made the guards present feel an overwhelming desire to conquer her. They grinned hideously and extended their fists toward her. There were 4 guards. They were gold-tier warriors and possessed a fire elemental combat aura. They attacked at the same time. The 4 fists covered in flames attacked Dina from different directions. The fire turned into a storm that swept toward Dina. A layer of charred black was left on the ground. It was apparent that the 4 guards were good at attacking together. At that moment, the powerful pressure was not inferior to that of a peak gold-tier warrior. They were afraid of hurting Dina and being criticized by Lawrence, so they held back. Facing such a powerful attack, Dina was about to fall to the ground and be captured. Right at that moment. "Get lost." 6 white wings suddenly appeared on Dina's back, and a transparent halo appeared above her head. A holy light appeared beside her, along with the chanting of the gods. Following that, a huge translucent light barrier appeared and covered her surroundings. The 4 guards' flaming fists landed on the light barrier in front of Dina. Not only did they not cause any harm to Dina, but their bodies tumbled and flew outward, their faces filled with disbelief. "What kind of power is that?" "Fortunately, young Master Watson gave me a Blessings of the Gods and Demons potion at the Severed Fingers Gang's headquarters, transforming me into a platinum-tier angel. If I did not have an angel's reflexes, I might not have been able to defeat those people." Dina sighed as she felt the surge of power in her body. At the same time, a cry of surprise came from the opposite side. "That form and that holy light, there's the power of an angel." Recently, the Augustus family has introduced a potion called the Blessings of the Gods and Demons, which can transform a person into a platinum-tier angel. But that potion is worth 10 million gold coins. How could you have afforded it? Lawrence looked at Dina in a daze. He knew about the potion. Dina looked exactly as they described. However, he could only watch with envy as others bought the potion worth 10 million gold coins. So, how could Lord Byron's low-income family buy it? 10 million gold coins? Dina, tell me how you got that potion. Byron's face darkened. He has suspected Dina of selling her body to get that bag of gold coins. He got even more furious when he heard about the 10 million gold coins potion. Why did she not give him some? She was not a good daughter. I didn't buy that potion. It was given to me by someone else. The wings on Dina's back flapped gently as she said that. Stop talking nonsense. Who would be willing to spend 10 million gold coins to give such a precious potion to someone else? Dina pouted her lips disdainfully. 10 million gold coins is just a small amount to him. His name is Watson. Chapter 510, Do not attack her again. Watson? Watson was the one who gave you the potion. Lawrence swallowed his saliva. Watson? The strongest genius in the kingdom, Watson. Byron followed up with an incredulous expression. He had heard of Watson's name. Very few people in the entire kingdom had never heard of Watson. Watson shone in the Royal Academy exhibition competition. He also battled the 7 gods to protect the king, and he could resurrect the dead, just like what he did with the late Queen Avril. That news had already spread in the royal city. However, whether Watson had actually resurrected Queen Avril remained to be seen. After all, most had not seen her yet. King Landar III had announced that his successor was Watson. He had done that in front of all the civil and military ministers. Watson was the next king, and even the people at the Holy See treated him with great respect. Since he had replaced the 7 gods as their central faith, the royal power was at its peak. Watson had also replaced Reed as the most famous elite in the capital, who could intimidate the other kingdoms with just his name. The heir to the throne, Antonio, and Reed's disciple, Watson had so many titles that he was already a legend in the Holy Dragon Kingdom. Byron was surprised to hear that Dina had a connection with Watson, then it turned to disbelief. Watson was someone from the higher class while Dina was a nobody, there was no way they were in contact. Dina, you said that Watson spent 10 million gold coins on you to give you that potion. You must be joking. Why would Watson spend money on you? Did you have a special relationship with Watson? Byron thought for a moment. If Dina used her beauty to seduce Watson and make him fall in love with her, then it was not that he could understand. After all, Dina's beauty was evident to everyone. He might even be attracted to her if he were not her father, let alone a teenager like Watson. However, Watson was the strongest genius in the kingdom. Even if he liked Dina, he would not spend 10 million gold coins on her. That was equivalent to the wealth of an entire family. I'm not joking. I came back here to explain the matter. Young Master Watson gave me a potion worth 10 million gold coins, and he also gave me this bag of money. Right now, I'm one of his subordinates. Dina tightened her hold of the bag in her hand and puffed out her chest. Subordinate? You must have seduced him, so he had to give you something in return. How would you qualify to be his subordinate? However, so what if you're his subordinate? I've already sold you to Lawrence, and we've signed a contract. The kingdom's law protects that contract. Even Watson can't break the law. Byron snorted coldly and looked at Lawrence. Master Lawrence, Dina now has platinum tier strength. Your guards aren't strong enough. I'll help you keep watch here so you can find more guards. Dina and her mother's face darkened. Byron did not feel happy when he discovered that Dina was Watson's subordinate. Instead, he helped the B*****, Lawrence. Byron, I changed my mind. I won't touch Dina again. Please return the 100,000 gold coins I gave you. Lawrence did not turn around and call for help. Instead, he spoke to Byron with a gloomy expression. Master Lawrence, what do you mean? Why do you want to take the money back? We've signed a contract. Byron, you idiot. If you want to die, don't bring me along. Lawrence gritted his teeth. Do you know how much influence Watson has in the royal city right now? If he knew that I touched Dina, he would crush me to death, and... There was one thing he did not say. The underground casino he opened was managed by Veronica, one of the Severed Fingers gang's higher UPS. He was also a Severed Fingers gang member, so he had the honor of meeting Watson once. At that time, Watson appeared as the Black King, leaving a deep impression in his heart. If he had known that Dina was connected to Watson, he would have even treated her with respect. He hated Byron so much then. The beautiful Dina had become so high and mighty in his eyes. Byron, this is the contract. Watch carefully. Lawrence took a contract from his pocket and tore it in front of Byron. The fragments fell to the ground like snowflakes. The guards that Dina sent flying backward grimaced in pain. They got up and gave the box of gold coins back to Byron. Lawrence, you can't do this. You promised me. You broke the contract because you heard that Dina's connected to Watson? Are you so afraid of him? Plus, how do you know she's telling the truth? Byron dropped to the ground and wailed. I can prove it. Just as Lawrence was about to refute, the mansion's door opened. A woman in a black dress and light makeup walked into the hall. A beautiful woman riding a unicorn and more than 10 men in black stood behind her. Lawrence immediately knelt on the ground and broke out in cold sweat. Lady Veronica, Lady Elvin. Miss Dina has just become young Master Watson's subordinate. Perhaps she doesn't understand some aspects of her work. Initially, Elvin and I are here to offer our condolences and ask what Miss Dina needs. I did not expect to see such a thing. After Veronica walked into the house, she roughly understood what had happened after sweeping a glance around. Lawrence, do you still remember the requirements for becoming a member of the Severed Fingers gang? First, do no evil. What are you doing now? Lady Veronica, I did not do any evil deeds. Byron was the one who wanted to give his daughter to me. For that, I even paid 100,000 gold coins for her. It's all Byron's fault. Lawrence's voice trembled as he responded, trying to shift the blame. Veronica was not a fool, she snorted and said, Lawrence, from now on, you are no longer a member of the Severed Fingers gang. Hand over the casino in your hands. Since you can't manage the casino well, many people in the Severed Fingers gang can help you. You should reflect on that. As for Lord Byron, since you are Miss Dina's father, I will let you go for daring to lay your hands on her. I hope there won't be a next time. As Veronica spoke, Elvin went to Dina and took out a set of black clothes. There was a broken sword-shaped finger embroidered on the chest area. This is the clothes for our intelligence officer. Perhaps you are still in shock, but no matter what happens in the future, you can tell me. Thank you, Lady Elvin. Dina took the clothes and looked touched. Let's go. I'll take you out to eat something. I'll tell you about your work and help you calm down. Elvin patted Dina's shoulder and led her out. Stop right there. You're not allowed to leave. Byron realized that the money in his hands was gone. He was unwilling to do it. He immediately got up and wanted to chase after Dina. At that moment, Elvin turned around and beamed lights from her eyes to leave 2 deep ravines on the ground in front of Byron. Byron was terrified by the sight. Do you have any objections? No, no. Remember, Dina is young Master Watson's subordinate. Don't attack her again, or you will end up like that soil. Elvin snorted coldly and escorted Dina away with Veronica. No one dared to speak again.